Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Los Angeles Angels franchise here with the Two Idiots. We have completed a successful opening day, and in Two Idiots fashion, we are already initiating a trade. We took a peek at the trade block, and it is already populated with quite a few interesting players. Notably, though, Harry Ford, a previous Two Idiots alumni, is back on the trade block for Seattle. They've got everything they need in the big dumper behind the plate, and they don't want Harry Ford right now. And so I think they're trying to trade him at his peak for value. He's 23 years old, B potential, 71 overall. They are also seeking second base among several other positions, and we've got Christian Moore down in AAA. He's also 23 years old with B potential at a 65 overall. And the pipeline for us at second base looks like Ezekiel Duran at the MLB level for the next few years, most likely, and then Travis Bazzana, a young 23-year-old prospect with A potential and 69 overall. So we've got a 1-2 punch there at second base for at least the next 6-7 years, most likely. A guy like Christian Moore is just going to be perpetual backup and probably most of his 20s in AAA. That's a little bit of a waste for us, and it's going to be the same thing for Harry Ford for the Mariners. And so this actually works out really, really well for us to upgrade our catching depth with potential and this prospect, and to offload a second base guy that we probably won't be able to use. And so this makes a ton of sense for both us and the Mariners, and let's go ahead and initiate this.
Hello, Two Idiot fans. Cryptic Panther here. Baker and I have decided to try a different format for this video. Please drop a comment and let us know what you think.
We took opening day of 2026 in a big way, a 4-0 win versus the Athletics, and the rest of the series goes our way as well. In Game 2, Walker Buehler let it through just enough for the Athletics to squeak through a victory 3-1, but pitching ruled the series for us. In Game 3, Luis Garcia kept them to only 1 run, and we squeak by in a 2-1 victory. And then in Game 4, Daniel Espino strikes out 10, goes 8 innings, and only allowed 2 hits. Now, pitching was excellent for us. We let through a couple of relief runs as well throughout the series, but the offense, kind of the story here as well. As good as pitching was, the offense was not as good. And Dalton Rushing was one of the few standouts in this series, as he had hits in every game. And there in Game 2, where we took the 3-1 loss, he had a solo shot to try to keep the game in reach, but unfortunately was not able to do so. And so now we'll host St. Louis. We hosted St. Louis, and we took a loss in the first game, 5-4. Cal Quantrill and the pitching just could not hold off the Cardinals, and their offense showed up. We did put 4 on the board against them, but they did take the win. And then in Game 2, it was even harder. We had a really good start from Brett Lauder, and we still could not get the offense to back him up. Ranger Suarez had an incredible game against us, and so we get shut out 2-0. But we do bounce back in Game 3 to prevent the sweep. Our pitching showed up here in the resurgence, and the guys said, we're not losing the first 3 games at home in the 2026 season. Walker Buehler bounces back from his loss in the first series versus the Athletics, and he gets a win here against St. Louis in Game 3. After the off day Thursday, we move into Arizona, and starting the weekend off right, we pick up wins in the first 2 games to seal the series already before we move into scouting. And Tanner Scott, the reliever, actually picked up the win here, but Luis Garcia started the day, led across those 2 runs for Arizona, but we were able to hold them, and the offense showed up enough. In Game 2, we really had the offense show up, and it was a great day for Jason Dominguez. He had a home run, a double, and another single, so nearly hit the cycle, got 4 RBIs himself, but Daniel Espino had another excellent start. His ERA is a 1.20 after the first 2 starts of the year, and that is a second series win to start this year off 6-3. It's now the first week of scouting in 2026, and we get a look for the first time at how our organization shook out. Our bonus allotment dropped by nearly $2 million. Last year was up above $15 million, and now we're at $13.25. Our draft picks are also adjusted slightly from last year. We now pick at number 5, and then every other pick behind that for rounds 2 through 6 have improved for the most part. Round 2 stayed the same at number 40, but every other pick changed. and improve just a little bit. For positional needs, we've designated starting pitcher, shortstop, and center field based on the depth of our farm system and the positional rankings there down below. Now, this will be the last time that we show this scouting screen until we get to draft day, and we'll do a recap there of the guys and the prospects that we're looking at. But just to save time for you guys watching and save time, because a lot of the guys that we would end up talking about if we go into the scouting really deeply, most of those guys will not end up coming to us. So we'll save some time, and we'll do the scouting recap once the time comes on draft day. It is pouring down rain as Brady House steps to the plate in the bottom of the ninth with one man on, and he will show bunt. It goes foul now, but we've got a man on first as we are seeking to tie or walk this game off versus the Dodgers. Rainy day here in LA. House again bunting. This time it's good. It goes past second. They throw to second. They get the out there, and it's just a fielder's choice as Brady House takes first base. And now Dalton Rushing, 0 for 3 today, averaging .333 on this young 2026 season, and he's primed for a big moment.
He already has 2 home runs on the year as well.
Yeah, and he's been a big part of this offense early on in the year. A lot of these series have swung or lost based on the efforts of Dalton Rushing. Really, really big contributor. It's 0-2 against him by Gratterall.
Oh.
Broken bat, and that goes to shortstop. They're going to throw to first, and they've got him. Rushing is out. And now Kyron Paris. Home run today and an RBI off of it, obviously, the solo shot. But he's coming off the bench in this big moment. Bottom of the ninth, down by 1 with 2 outs. Last hope here in L.A. Sinker misses.
That was close.
Very close. I think that's a 50-50 ball if there ever was one.
What was wrong with that?
Yeah, he's waiting on something. He might be waiting on a breaking ball of some sort, trying to crush it.
That's in. Ball 2.
We'll watch that sinker inside.
Okay, don't like sinkers.
Harris is waiting. Nope. 2-1 delivery. Doesn't like the slider either. It's 2-2. Paris out of time. Patience may not do it here, but the count runs full. Here we go. Gratterall going to be forced to either go after him or give him something sloppy. Sinker on the outer edge is a great placed pitch, but Paris defends. The 3-2 one more time. And he goes after the slider. The Dodgers close it down and win in the bottom of the ninth, holding the runner on second base. And we take the L today in L.A. So after locking in the first 2 games of the series to take the series against Arizona, we end up dropping Game 3 in a big way, a 3-11 loss, where we allowed 8 runs off of 2 different relievers, and they both only gathered up 4 outs. It was Gonzalez and Joyce. So really, really tough day as our relievers finally cracked in Game 3 versus Arizona. Then we come back home and we host the Dodgers. We saw that critical situation in Game 3, which ultimately went on to lose 2-3. But another blowout, this time a shutout in Game 1 against LA, as Lauder let in 5, and then Lucas Sims, the reliever, let in 4 runs and only got 1 out, so his ERA is ballooned up now. In Game 2 versus the Dodgers, Walker Buehler let in 4, but the relief finally had a good day again. So really, 2 really bad days there between the last game in Arizona, first game versus the Dodgers. Relief stepped up in Game 2, and then in Game 3, Luis Garcia let in 3 runs, but we had 4 clean innings of relief pitching, and through those 4 innings, they only allowed 1 hit between 4 relievers. So that was really, really good, but it does put us on a 4-game skid as we got our first sweep against us, and our record now looks a lot uglier at 6-7.
That's kind of a record we're used to from last season.
Yeah, but I was really hopeful.
Yeah, we started pretty strong. But yeah, I mean, it definitely, Arizona, we handled them well in the first, the first game against Arizona was close. We definitely handled them in the second game, and I don't know what happened in the third. We didn't show up at all. And the Dodgers, I mean, it's the fucking Dodgers. I mean, they're 10-3 after that series. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, it's the Dodgers. I mean, we held our own. I mean, the first one we got stomped on a bit, but I mean, we lost by 3 runs and lost by 1 run. So, I mean, overall, I mean, if you want to look for a positive note, and at least we didn't get hammered every game. So
Exactly. The level of competition for the Dodgers is the highest level. So for us to be really competitive in games 2 and 3 and our relievers hold out against that Dodgers lineup and how scary it is, I definitely take a moral victory from the last 2 games, specifically game 3. But I am really, really happy to see that after the devastating loss in game 1, that our pitching staff was able to really, really bounce back and make these games reasonable to finish off the series.
yeah, it was like I said, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. But I mean, we're one game under 500. It's early, and like I said, we've been playing some decent baseball. So hopefully that trend will continue as we move into the series against Miami.
After the series versus the Dodgers, we take an off day on Thursday to reset, and we then host Miami, where in game 1, Daniel Espino gets the loss. He didn't have a terrible day, and the relief was a lot better for us in game 1 here, so I'm happy to see them bounce back. Dalton Rushing had another good offensive day, going 2 for 3. Joe Adell picked up a home run. And then in game 2, we tallied 10 hits. Royce Lewis hits his 3rd home run of the year. Brady House went 2 for 3 and is finally nearing the 200 mark, that Mendoza line for his average. And pitching overall was pretty good. So Cal Quantrill picks up the win there. His ERA at 7.11 is pretty scary, but that hopefully is going to come down soon. In game 3, we put 7 hits on the board, but we also took 6 walks. Discipline was great from the offense today, and Lewis hit another home run. So that makes 4 on the year for him so far. Lawrence Butler finally gets a little bit better this time, and he goes 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs to bring his average now up after a 2 for 3 day to only 120. Pitching was phenomenal as we only let through 1 run, and Rhett Lauder picks up win number 2.
Yeah, on the Lawrence Butler thing is, I was wondering why we look at the box scores and we kept seeing Dubon in. And I know Dubon is the one guy we picked up in free agency who plays like everywhere but catcher and doesn't pitch. It's the only thing he doesn't do. And he's been getting a lot of play. And I was wondering why, and it's because Lawrence Butler's been colder than ice. A lot of offers, a lot of days where he get 1 hit and stuff like that, and he was hitting under 100 for the majority of the start of the season. So now I see why Dubon was put in so much. So after the off day here on Monday, let's roll into Minnesota, and hopefully we can get the ball rolling and get another series win.
We're stepping in for a critical situation here against the Minnesota Twins as Justin Martinez is attempting to close this game down. He's gotten 1 out already, but there's the ghost runner on second here as we're in the bottom of the 10th. And we missed with the sinker under the zone to Jonathan India. The lineup is turned over, so this is potentially the most dangerous part for Martinez to face. And India swings through it.
1 ball.
India's hitting 393. I think that's it. He's 1 for 4 in the day. So, oh, no.
Oh, no. Ball goes past the catcher, and that's not going to work for us. There we go. All right. We get the out. Gosh, that was the best of a bad situation there as the swing through strikeout turns into the runner advancing to third. But we now got 1 out to go against Carlos Correa.
0 for 4 in the day, hitting 246. Wow, but he's hitting 462 with runners and scoring. Holy shit.
The only time he hits is with somebody on base.
God damn.
And that's the situation we're in. So, yeah.
Martinez
boy.
needs to buckle down here.
1-1. And that goes to left field, and we've got it. Justin Martinez has closed this game out successfully. Fantastic.
So after watching that critical situation where we held on to the victory, it was a 4-3 win over the Twins. It was a okay start from Buehler, but we had great relief. 5 innings pitched, no earned runs. Ended up with a save number 6 from Martinez. And the highlight of the day from the offense was Joe Adell with a home run. Going into game 2, which was another win, it was Luis Garcia with a solid start. Another home run from Adell and another one from Lewis. A 2 for 4 day from Dalton Rushing. 5 relievers come in and held us in the game. And number 7 for Martinez. Unfortunately, game number 3 didn't quite go our way. It was a 2-0 loss. Daniel Espino had a great start. 5 innings pitched and allowed 2 earned runs. Our relievers kept us in the game, but unfortunately, with only 6 hits and no earned runs, the offense was pretty flat. But looking back over it, this is 2 series wins in a row after that horrible streak against the Dodgers. So let's roll into Cincinnati and keep this going. So after the series win in Minnesota, we roll into Cincinnati, and things don't go our way. In game one, we end up with a loss. Cal Quantrill, another okay start, 5 inning pitch, 3 earns, which kind of seems his wheelhouse, unfortunately. We had home runs from Duran and from Rocchio, and Hunter Gaddis gets a loss on the day because he let in 3 earned runs after Quantrill left the game. So not a great day all around for us there. We move on to game two, which was a win. Brett Lauder had a great game, 6 inning pitch, 1 earned run. Dubon with a home run and 3 RBIs, and Dalton Rushing goes 2 for 4. Those guys were the stars on the day. Tanner Scott lets in his first runs of the season, but he picks up his win, and then Martinez would save number 8. So we roll into game 3 on Sunday, and we take another loss. Walker Buehler did not have a great game with 4 innings pitched and 4 earned runs. Lewis and Butler with home runs was not enough to keep us on the tops in the win category, but our relievers tried to keep us in the game with no earned runs from our relievers yet again. So that is a series loss against Cincinnati.
We rest after the series with Cincinnati. We come back home to host Seattle. And in game one, we end up losing 2-5. It was a rough start for Luis Garcia. He went 4 1/3 innings pitched with 4 earned runs. On the offensive side, we had Brian Rocchio go 3 for 4, but really not much else happened. And then relief was pretty good, but the game was already lost from our starter, unfortunately. Moving into game 2, we had an 8-0 blowout shutout. Daniel Espino picks up win number 3. He went 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, no earned runs, and only 1 strikeout. It was all contact against Espino, but the defense did an amazing job. On the offensive side of the ball, Dominguez went 3 for 4 today with 3 RBIs. Rocchio also picked up 3 RBIs, and everyone on the lineup got a hit, and nobody went yard. Again, all small ball. Really cool to see from the guys. I love those types of games. Jose Quijada picks up hold number 6, and his ERA is at a 0 still. Nobody has scored upon him yet, and Tanner Scott picked up his first save of the year, and his ERA is down to a 1.05. In game 3, we pick up another win and seal the series against Seattle. Cal Quantrill was amazing. He went 7 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, no earned runs, and no walks. It was a really, really clean outing for Cal Quantrill. Defense held up against him as well, or with him, rather. Butler went 3 for 4 and had a home run and 3 RBIs, which was really cool. And then Dalton Rushing came back to a 2 for 4 day. He only had 1 hit against that game in Seattle in game 2. Justin Martinez actually blew his first save there in game 3 and allowed 3 earned runs. And then Victor Gonzalez gets the last out of the game and his first win of the year. So we seal the series versus Seattle before hosting Minnesota.